Okay, so this next one was from Jessica, and I love this question. So for some context, first of all, Jessica asked, what are the best methods to block out the noise, I'm using my air quotes, noise of life without relying on music, TV, etc.? And how do you prevent distractions when you do this? So first of all, let's talk about the context. What I was referring to when we all met was this idea that that noise is the chatter in our heads. When we're trying to connect to ourself, often what gets in the way or is an obstacle is that chatter in our heads, the incessant stories we tell ourselves, the narratives that constantly go. And so one of the things I referenced was the fact that I was constantly trying to drown out having to be alone with my own thoughts. Connecting with myself was not necessarily natural or easy to me. And that would be, it would be a greater thing if I could quiet things down, quiet this chatter, and connect inwardly. But the problem was I had a great fear of that because it's a little bit like you don't know what you're going to find from an emotions or feelings standpoint. And that feels a little bit daunting to some people. I know it did to me. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was that person who constantly had to have talk radio on, a podcast on, a television on. I couldn't be in a quiet place alone with my own thoughts. For whatever reason, I avoided that. That was the noise also. So you have the noise that you bring into the environment because you don't want to sit in silence with yourself or be alone with your own thoughts. As I can't remember what author said it, but it was like, don't leave me alone in my own head. It's a dangerous place. I fully resonated with that. So, some answers. Okay. Notice, first of all, I think the answer to this is if that is your predisposition to try to drown out your own thoughts, to need to escape your own self-connection and that quiet and stillness with oneself, that's just a cue. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It's just a cue to go, oh, let's pay attention to that. Then secondly, here's what I did. I can only speak to the success I've had with different things, and this is a continual work in progress. So I'll share with you what's helped me. First of all, knowing that my own thoughts and my own emotions and my own feelings aren't as scary as I made them out to be, and that I can be with them. Giving myself the space to have them and then process them. What I noticed too is I'd want to run from them. And that's when I bring the noise back in and the static. So it's giving yourself a lot of grace and being gentle and kind to yourself to go, okay, this is kind of scary, uncharted territory. And I really want to do this because I do want to connect to myself so I can bring my truest, wholest being to the relationships I have with other people, to the work that I do, to the community I am in. So it's a worthy endeavor. But I will also say, now let's talk from a practical standpoint. That was the reason behind doing all this, or what might be your obstacle. But from a practical standpoint, I also had to just do it and try it over and over and over. It's a little bit like meditation where, when you go to learn to meditate, a lot of people really struggle because they say, I can't keep my mind clear. I can't keep my mind blank. And actually in meditation, it's not about keeping your mind clear and blank so often as, especially in the beginning, it is having that observer's mind to notice, oh, I'm jumping all around. Okay, I'm going to develop that muscle of learning to draw myself back. Okay, I'm coming back here now. I'm going to focus on this, or I'm going to think about this for a moment. And then our mind goes off and does its thing again. And we go, oh, that's right, I'm coming back. Sometimes it's just that practice, and that's the victory. That's the victory. But I also am a big proponent of noise-canceling headphones. So now let's get really practical. Certain types of music that are in another language I don't speak. For whatever reason, if it's in English or my primary language, maybe even a little bit of Spanish, I can get distracted because I hear words. That distracts me. If it's instrumental or if it's in a language I don't speak, I can kind of quiet the noise and be more grounded. And what else? Let's see. I had one more for you, and I don't want to forget it. Oh, yes. And asking yourself, what is causing me to want to block this out in the first place? In other words, maybe sit and ask, why am I creating the noise? What am I fearing? What am I trying to avoid? That can be really helpful too, because the bottom line, our goal in this whole webinar that we had and in just moving forward is, how can you connect to yourself, find your truest voice and your truest presence, and bring that to the relationships you're in, to the world that's around you, and to the meaningful work that you give. It's awesome. So I appreciate that question a lot. And I really want to preface the fact that preface this with saying it's not easy. I really do get that. And I am still trying to figure this out. I'm with you.